still here. Yeah. We thought you were getting rid of them for...
We tried. We tried. They came back.
They came back. They keep coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologise to all of you because there's at least 10 people in that courtroom who, in my opinion, have been wasting your hard-earned taxes in there for the last few hours. And the state has been presenting its case as to why they believe that we do not have standing to take this application for a judicial review. This despite the fact that this morning when I arrived in court, I explained immediately when the judge arrived how I once again had been harassed on my way in here, not once but twice. I was stopped by one of the fluorescent jackets close to my home, and I was asked, where was I going? I don't know how many times this has happened to me in the last few weeks. But you all know I have a long history of exposing corruption in An Garda Síochána.
That's right.
I was the journalist. I was the journalist who Maurice McCabe came to when nobody else would listen to him, including all of his colleagues in the force. I lost my livelihood for Maurice McCabe. I have had several murders reopened, murders that have been covered up by An Garda Síochána, including murders of children, as well as the sexual abuse of children. These are cases that I have investigated, and some of them are before the courts at the moment. I have a long history with An Garda Síochána. Just over the bridge there in Dublin Castle, a couple of years ago, I gave testimony before Justice Charlton to explain how I was removed from my job of almost 20 years as chief features writer with the Irish Independent because I was exposing corruption. I explained to him how the allegations against Maurice McCabe made by TUSA, alleging the most appalling things against Maurice McCabe, how those allegations arose immediately after I started to investigate Martin Callanan. And subsequently we saw what happened to Martin Callanan, who had his penalty points wiped. The reason I am saying all of this is because the last thing I want to do as I go about my daily business every day trying to assist citizens and clean up the filth of corruption in this state. The last thing I want when I know that paedophiles and child killers are walking our streets is to be stopped every time I go outside my home by the people who had me unlawfully dismissed. Hear, hear. And I had to come down here in 2015 and take a defamation action against Dennis O'Brien and his cronies, and I was successful on that.
Well done.
My life has been turned upside down by An Garda Síochána. Why? Because I took on the plight of Gardaí and citizens whose lives had also been turned upside down by a force that is the most corrupt in Europe, if not the world. Now, I have made it very clear in there this morning to the judge that yet again we are facing this constant harassment. When we go out of our homes, we are stopped. As I said this morning, I was stopped. I said I'm going to court. I should not have to explain where I am going to anybody, especially a member of An Garda Síochána, unless I am suspected of a crime.
Here,
He wasn't satisfied with that. He then asked me, where was I coming from? Now, only that I am well able for these gangsters in uniform, I told him to mind his own business. But many of our very vulnerable citizens are not in a position to do that. They're terrified. And these are the people that we are in there representing. All of you here.
Yeah, very cool.
Always sought to uphold the duties of our vocation, which is to defend citizens who are being targeted by the state. It is our job, our duty, our responsibility to our profession. That is the beginning and end of it. So the state is trying to suggest that we have no right to be in there. They will be overruled on that by us. We have so many examples. We are not able to practice our religion, a fundamental right of the Constitution. Every Christian, every Muslim, every Jew, every Hindu in Ireland, they are all denied the right to practice their faith. This is a fundamental breach, but they're saying, no, we don't have any. We don't have any locus. We don't have any standing. So what has gone on in there today? It's shameful. It's shameful because of the amount of money. I'm very conscious that when we take this case, the taxpayer is going to have to fund, because they get paid an absolute arm and a leg. This is costing John and me. It could cost us an awful lot because we don't know what they're capable of. But we are willing to make that sacrifice. But an awful lot of money, an awful lot of time wasted. The state will continue. And we believe that the judge will have to make the right decision and allow us. This is not even the actual hearing. This is just the leave application. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
But the state wants to drag it on. They're bringing up technicalities.
Shame on them. Shame on them.
And shame on them. Shame on them. They're bringing up the most minor of technicalities. We are lay litigants. We are lay litigants. We don't play by the makey up rules. There's an awful lot of makey up rules being used, in my opinion. This book is crystal clear. It's so beautifully written that a 5-year-old could understand it. It's so easy to read. It states clearly that members of government shall be members of the Dáil. Not in this case. Not in this case. But when you draw this out, it's like the little makey-uppy rules come into play, not what is stated here. So many articles of this Constitution are being trampled upon. We have tried to stress to the judge so many times, the citizens, the people of the country are under mass house arrest, and if they go out, they will be interrogated. We have seen overnight that there has been a serious jump in the number of cases being used against citizens by the Gardaí. Drew Harris has gone out, even though Drew Harris knows there is a challenge now, which calls into question the legislation. He knows that, but yet he is sending his officers out to harass and arrest. Hundreds of people in the last few days have been targeted. This is disgraceful.
Shame on you, Drew Harris. Well done.
It's very odd. Just to give you a little sense briefly of what's kind of going on, it's this strange kind of legalistic process in which there are certain things allowed by rules. So for